Yes, almost forgot. Doing a little video, aren't I? Hey folks, Kilt-Man here, Kilt-Man at your topless service. Yes, now, how are you all? Hope you're well. My God, it's been El Scorchio today. Scorchio. And I've been working all damn day. Oh, let's just bring that in a little bit closer. When I'm out in this room, I seem to misgauge everything. Distances, spatial awareness. I tripped over there, which you didn't see. Still getting used to this new studio. By the way, we're not going to keep filming in here. It's nice at the moment while it's not pissing down and leaking through the roof, which is what it would be if it was pissing down. So, folks, you know I said to you the last video that I've got a sword coming. Yes, and my plan for today, even though I've been working most of today, was that once it arrived, I was going to do a quick sort of unwrapping, unboxing, quickly show you it. Then I was going to play around with it, and then I was going to come back and do a proper video, which would kind of explain to you the reasons behind that sword, its historical relevance, its mythical movie qualities, and blah blah blah. Just give you a whole big spiel on it. And that plan was set in motion this morning, as most plans are. And then I got my shipping advice. Yes, it'll be with you by midday. Brilliant. I'll do a little unwrapping, unboxing at dinner time. Yeah, no worries. Shipping details changed. Oh, it'll now be with you by 3:30. Oh, okay, no worries. Changed again, didn't they? It'll now be with you between 5:15 and 9:15 tonight. Motherfucker. What's going on? Is this guy having little affairs with women? Is he performing 70s style porn movies at every drop-off point? All socially distanced, of course. So you can probably hear a husky dog prowling around in the background there. No, she's now left the room. But yeah, so finally it turns up. And yeah, so I thought it'd be in a box. It isn't. It is just completely encased in bubble wrap. Woohoo! And initial reactions, without even opening said sword, is that, fuck me, this is as light as a feather. That's not good, is it? Now, all will become apparent, hopefully. It's not a proper sword. It is a training sword. It is made out of a material called polypropylene, which is plastic. But I'll give you all the story behind all that kind of thing later on. Initially, I just want to open this and see if it's any damn good. And you know me, sometimes I cannot hide the disappointment on my face. Sometimes it's not even what I think it's going to be. That Texas Chainsaw Mask the other day, oh yes. Anyway, let's see, let's cut into this. The trusty ski and do. The one blade that never lets me down. Having said that, I have just cut through some of the labelling. Follow us on Instagram. Play well martial arts. Okay, boys. Now make sure when you're doing your martial arts and you've got your nunchuckers out and your katanas, play well. Play nicely now. Y'all. Shipping note. Okay, right. I'm not even sure I need the ski and do, to be honest, to get into this. As it happens, I do not. Okay, right. What this is, folks, is the Sword of Leonidas from the film 300. Yes, it's a Spartan sword, but it's not exactly historically accurate, as I will come on to in the next video. But for now, I just want to see if this is actually any good to fuck about with. So much packing and bagging. Actually, that's not too bad. The idea behind a polypropylene sword, a training sword, if you're doing sort of Japanese martial arts, a wooden katana is known as a bokken. Also the Japanese broadsword, they're bokkens. I've used them in the past And the idea behind these things is that they don't actually hurt you when you're sparring with someone. But the thing is, they actually do. But because they're not steel, they shouldn't penetrate. They shouldn't be as sharp. But they can cause a variety of fractures, shall we say, because they are heavy. Now, the thing that these have over wooden training swords is because polypropylene is exceptionally hard. Apparently, now I don't know the science behind these things. I've just read up on them, you know, but I have used these things before, but I've never actually owned one. And yeah, the idea behind them, they should have the exact size, dimensions, weight, and the same centre of balance as well as the real life steel counterpart. That's how it should be. With this particular sword, because it's a fantastical version of a real life sword, the real life sword itself would be a bit of a weird one. It wouldn't be, you know, you wouldn't go into battle wielding it, shall we say, because it's not a genuine sword, although it's based on what was a genuine sword. Anyway, I've got to say that now I've actually unwrapped it, I actually quite like it. I would say immediately that the weight is off completely, because that is totally light, you know. But you know, obviously I can't do much sitting behind here, but I'll show you some proper moves later. For now, make do with the moves, not the moves. Make the most. I've got no more jokes after that. This has been sort of marked with stuff. I don't know if they're in the film. You see now, you know what a big fan of the film 300 I am, and I mentioned before that I've never actually got any of the stuff from it, other than that helmet there. But come payday, I will be buying the helm of Leonidas with the horsehair plume. Oh yes, can't wait. And but you can get many versions of this sword and the actual Spartan warrior sword, which is slightly different. It doesn't have quite as much cutaway here. Well, I'll come on to that later. But you can buy. There's a version, a polypropylene version of that, the warrior sword, but you can also buy the steel ones as well, and you can get them forged. You can get them properly made, you know. But the thing about those is, and this is what I'm coming to maybe now in my collecting stage. I have many swords. You've seen some of them, and you'll see many more. I will get more swords as well, but they look great on the wall. A lot of them are just replicas. Some are genuine working swords where you could actually use them. They're fully tempered steel, and they are built and constructed to be used in battle. Yes, and some are vintage swords, generally from the period, but so they possibly have seen action as well, drawn blood, as it were. But I can't really swing those things around in here, or even outside. They're great to pose with pictures. Obviously, people on Facebook who've seen me, you'll know exactly where I'm coming from there. You know what I mean. But this sort of thing, you know, you can swing this around and you can hit stuff with it, people, without killing them, but you will hurt them. That is hard. In fact, the fact that it's light is very deceptive. And this again must be the beauty of polypropylene. They're injection molded, by the way. That's how you produce these things. It's just plastic pumped in, and they're not hand forged, obviously, so you can mass produce these, which is why they're so bloody cheap. But I do like that. That grip is pretty good. These are just initial reactions, folks. I haven't swung the thing around yet. Obviously, it's not sharp, obviously, and that point, right and round it, and well, it's not going to go anywhere, you know. But if you smack this on somebody, yeah, that's going to hurt, and it's going to cause fractures. It is. But then again, the whole point of training, you know, you need to learn how to carry a sword, how to swing the sword, how to cut, thrust, hack, parry, penetrate, but also, you know, how to receive blows and understand the weight of what's coming at you and how to deflect it. And no better way of learning that is by getting your knuckles wrapped with one of these things, you know. But whereas a wooden bokken can actually splinter, crack, break, snap in half, These shouldn't do that. I can imagine, if that's going to get some nicks in it. But this stuff is meant to be very, very, they do use the word indestructible. Nothing is indestructible. Except for my wife's lack of sense of humour. But, so, you can swing these to your heart's content. You can smack hell at another two of these. You can get a real, sense of swinging momentum and the velocity and the impact. I'm trying to work out. I think. Where's the? Yeah. Sense of balance is there. Yeah. And do you know what? That's in the right place. Should be, well, depending on how ornate the handle and the hilt and the crossguard are going to be, and obviously the width and dimensions of the blade, but usually you'll find it is about 2-3 inches, 4 inches down from the crossguard. So that's about right. I'll come on to all this. But after my initial reservations about, God, that's too light, what am I going to do with that? That actually feels really good. And there are things you can do with this. Even though these things are meant to be impervious, you can sharpen them. You can sharpen these. Why? I don't know, make it look better. I don't know. Why are you asking me? I just got one. You could even paint this up. You could give it a metallic finish. You can make it look pitted and scored. You could do a lot with it. And for a very cheap price. Do you know how much this was? Have a guess. You try. Jesus, do you think I'm made of money? Do you think I'm going to spend that kind of money on a piece of fucking plastic? Jesus H. Christ. Where do these people come from? £22, did someone say? £22? You'd be right. Sold. Gentleman at the back there. With the Princess Leia buns on the side of your head. Yeah, £22 for that. The actual Spartan soldier one, the warrior one, which is not the King Leonidas one, is only £17. So, they're very cheap, and, you're not going to get any hassle with, customs, I don't think you are. Then again, it is a plastic weapon, isn't it? And it can do some damage, as I said before. But yeah, so have a look at that. You've got this sort of eagle-y type thing here. You've got a sunburst adorning just beyond the crossguard. You've got some ornate patterning on the which don't look at all Grecian or Spartan to me. They look more sort of French Renaissance. But and you've got some stuff down here, and you've got some old Grecian hieroglyphics here. It says Made and Tijuana. Made in Taiwan. Yeah. Okay. But the sword of King Leonidas. Let me get back to you, because I can't do much here. I don't want to swing it round and maybe take one of little Kentucky Fudge's eyeballs out there. Yeah. He hasn't got that many. He does need them. But yeah, short of buying the real thing, which is going to cost a fair bit, as I say, the hand-forged ones and the numerous replica versions, which I'll be honest with you, having got so many swords and having got what they call wall hangers and stuff which is just a reproduction of, say, the Conan sword, or say the sword of Achilles, or whatever, they may look great in pictures, but when you get them, you may as well just got this for a fraction of the cost, just because they're made out of metal and they've got some ornate, sort of illustration on them and some nice, wicked, iconic design. When you get it, you think, that's a piece of shit, that. Very flimsy metal. The weight's all wrong on it. You can see welding spots. They look fucking awful. So, what? At least this, you can use. Those, you'd be very foolish to try and use. Because most of those blades, I can tell you now, if you hit anything that's got any kind of substance to it, that blade is going to break, it's going to shatter, it's going to snap clean in half. It is. That won't. That's the thing about this, is this will not break. It's also impervious to lots of oils and heat as well. Whereas like steel will bend and will melt, this won't do it. Apparently, it won't do it. I'm not exactly going to put it to the test, am I? Like, unless I go up against a xenomorph with acid for blood. I don't know. Who knows? That could be the ultimate test, couldn't it? But yeah, I'm actually a lot happier than I first thought I was going to be. When I held it in its bubble wrap shroud, I thought, God, this is just going to be a toy. Many of you probably think that is nothing more than a toy. It is a training tool. If you do sword fighting, you pretty much, if you don't learn on something that's either made out of wood or this, then you're going to hide into nothing and you're going to lose flesh. It's as simple as that, if not your life. So you need to train with something like one of these first. And then, if you carry on throughout your career, there's nothing better than to have a play around with one of these, just to keep up your skills. It also, the thing about this, doesn't weigh much, but bigger swords and their wooden or plastic counterparts are weighted as well. So I'm not saying that this isn't correctly weighted. I've not felt the real thing, so I don't know. That bent. Well, fuck me. Look at that. All these things are impervious. They're indestructible. They're also bent. I bet that's the fucking delivery guy. I bet he was sitting on it with his big fat lazy ass while he was like, instead of making his next delivery, he was fucking sitting there eating a big Yorkie bar. Well, that's one in the eye for Captain Kilt-Man. I'll work on that. Shit. I've got a bent one. Someone's bent my blade. Well, the blade's okay, it's the fucking handle isn't. Oh, you know what? I'm fucking not bothered. It is what it is, and it was 22 quid. I'm still going to fuck around with that quite a bit. But you'll get your little history lesson later on, for those of you that want to stick around. Because I do find the whole Spartan way of life, Spartan training, Spartan tactics and warfare to be absolutely fascinating. And the thing is, if you do go back and study how they trained for warfare, you'll find that is pretty much how every military force in the years since, they've adapted and they've modified and they've reined it in a bit, because it's fucking brutal, to train their men in times of peace, but train them hard for times of war. So train hard, fight easy. And a lot of what they did has been translated into special forces training around the world. Yeah, your SAS, your SBS, your SEALs, special forces, your Green Berets, Spetsnaz, everything that they learn has been honed from what was the fighting elite from the ancient times, Spartans. It is true. So, anyway, folks, in the meantime, and the in-between time, I am now going to try and straighten that out. Fucking hell. Well, it's Kilt-Man. It wasn't going to be perfect, was it? These things are sent to try us. So, anyway, folks, in the meantime, in between time, take it easy. Have some tea, have a drink, and we will reconvene in a few hours' time, okay? And I'll probably have, my arm will be in a splint, and I'll have a bandage over one eye. Yeah, it works. Folks, I'm going to see you all later. For tonight, we play well in hell.